Hello everyone, and welcome to Capsule Cast. I am your host, xmat. We're on week 5 of the main season, and I'm joined by my co-host, Fathappy.
Hello, hello.
And
happy as always.
A very special guest this week, Fiora, coach of Derp.
Happy to be here. You also forgot, member of the stats team and the guy who makes the tier list.
That too, yes. Sorry, I'm brain farting. Okay, are we all good?
True.
All happy?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Aren't we good?
Let's get into match 1 then. Okay, we have Royals and Cinema. So, before I just pass the mic over to Fathappy, because I'm sure he can wax lyrical about this match, we had Bobby going up against Fasha to start with, and I think it went a lot differently than what people were expecting. Fathappy, I'll let you lead the floor, as it were.
Yeah, so starting off in this match, we had Babidi versus Fasha, where, to many people's apparent surprise, Babidi pretty much went even with Fasha, was actually ahead for most of the fight, until a single combo at the end, when Fasha had about like 1k health left. She did like a 10k ping pong combo to like turn it around. But both characters, I'm pretty sure both characters did more than like 40k damage because they both had healing.
I don't think Babidi had healing, but I think Fasha lands some hits on Deborah, so she did.
Babidi did not have healing, but Fasha had healing. So both, because she won the fight, both of them ended up doing 40k. So,
yeah, they both did a bit more than their man.
Yeah. After taking out Babidi, Metacooler comes in with Savior, ends up, slightly wasting it, taking out Fasha, but doesn't lose too much health in the process. Janemba comes in instead, kind of promptly takes out Meta without too much issue. I think he only loses about 2 bars taking out Meta, more or less. As Deborah then comes in, Deborah starts doing, classic Deborah things as Janemba tags into Gogeta. Gogeta kind of gets their ass handed to them. Like, it was a pretty even fight until like halfway when
the grab jank.
Well,
and it really mattered this time.
The grab jank, there was like a grab jank incident, but both of them basically charged up in the meantime, and then the board just landed an ult, which was more due to the wall than anything else.
Gogeta didn't really have the time to charge because, for those who may have not know what we're talking about, basically Gogeta got stuck in Deborah's grab animation out of nowhere, but Deborah wasn't in that. So Deborah had free reign to just enter max charge up and enter max power mode while that was happening, while Gogeta couldn't do anything about it, and Deborah landed his ult. Gogeta was actually winning the fight until the grab jank handed and giving Deborah the chance to land it.
The thing is that, to me anyways, that kind of is, it's like, the grab jank only meant that Gogeta was in the air for an extra second over what would normally be the case. Because when you are at the...
I'm not saying like it's because like, the grab jank screwed over Gogeta because he couldn't do anything. It's the fact that Deborah was free to charge up to max power is what screwed over to Gogeta. Gogeta couldn't do anything.
The thing is, Deborah did fly around it for a good bit afterwards before actually going in for the kill. So I'm pretty sure that if he wanted to go to max power, he would have gotten to max power anyway. So, but yeah, let's go. Deborah lands a nice ult on Gogeta, and then promptly takes him out. Janemba comes back in, if I recall. He takes out Gogeta. Deborah ends up fighting with Janemba for a little bit. Hold on.
Garlic came in.
No, he ends up fighting with Garlic Jr. I almost forgot Garlic Jr. was in this match, actually.
King Cole
Yeah, because Deborah tagged into Cold. Cold kind of just said no.
Pretty much.
Just laid like a good bit of smackdown on the little dude.
It was Garlic versus Deborah at the very end. That was hype.
Yes.
Either could have easily won, really.
There was a bunch of tags basically happened. So at one point we had Cold fighting Janemba. Janemba transformed. Cold took him out, just being completely unrelenting, even though he doesn't naturally break power body that easy. And then it ended with Garlic versus Deborah, with both of them at less than a bar. So in the end, it was a really close fight. And it came down to Deborah firing at B2 with Garlic trying to counter with an ult.
A few frames before Garlic did.
So honestly, it doesn't really get closer than this.
No, it was like insanely close.
Yeah, this is. I think this was the closest match of the week. If not, it was definitely top 2.
Yeah, it was. I think it probably was the closest match because as well, like.
I think the second closest was my match.
Yes.
Awesome.
I think so. Because I think if Garlic was a bit further back and did the ult, I think I'm not 100% sure on the specifics, but I assume it would clash, and then it would have been.
No, it wouldn't clash because, like, it's not a solid ball. It's not a multi-hit type B2. It's he's throwing out 3 individual blasts, so those lose to the more solid B2s.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Go. So he was
like it's basically like a low volley barrage B2 in terms of how it works mechanically. So Garlic would have just had to fire his thing before Deborah did.
Yeah, basically Garlic should have activated his first.
Or dodged.
So, yeah.
Again, it came down to just a few frames of difference.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we've done that match to a very good level, and I'm pretty sure that Cinema, I don't think they were upset. Commiserations to them. I remember Destiny saying they were quite happy still. So, yeah.
Especially since, for me at least, being the coach of Royals, this is the closest match we've had all season. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, want to get moving on to match 2?
I've largely said my piece because the grab jank was my big sticking point with that match. Like, I think that if Deborah just did a normal grab instead of being given an extra few seconds to just charge while Gogeta was locked in that animation, I think the match would have gone in Cinema's favor.
Well, it was close enough, so I see that. Are we ready to move on to match 2?
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so match number 2, we had Hybrid versus Muscle, and we had Future Gohan starting against Adult Trunks. Yeah, I mean, Fiora, I gave Fathappy his thoughts first last time. Do you have any thoughts on this match?
You want me to give a rundown of what happened, basically?
Well, I mean, just the thoughts on the match. The rundown is obviously Future Gohan went up against Adult Trunks and he beat him down to his last bar without taking any damage before he tagged out. And then Grandpa Gohan came in. He kind of went even with Future Gohan until they were both at about 20,000, and then Future Gohan turned up the heat, killed him. Raccoon came in, tried his hardest.
Finished him off by a decent margin.
Yeah, but then he went up against Teen, and then he kind of struggled. He managed to do 20,000 to him. And then Super 13. 13? I was going to say
Super 13 as the starting form? Damn, Hybrids beat Super 13?
That would be crazy.
What kind of Zay did muscle spend?
Yeah, no, 13 came in on a super build. I think that's where my confusion came in, maybe. And he actually nearly beats Teen, but Teen tags out by the looks of that. Yeah, Teen tags into Sword Trunks, who proceeds to beat down and kill 13 very quickly. Adult Trunks comes back in and eventually loses to his sword counterpart after taking 30,000. Now, you give your thoughts on the match.
This, if you don't mind me saying so, this was kind of an absolute slaughter on Hybrid's part.
Yeah.
Adult Gohan didn't even hit the field. This was rough. Muscle, I feel ya. I've been in your position. It sucks to have 0 wins for a third of the season. But believe me, yeah, I feel ya.
What I will say, and I think I said this to Budokai's coach as well, because I think they're 0-5 as well. It's not over yet because GT have had similar records previously, and they've managed to end the season like 7-8 or 6-9.
They might pull Muscle might be pulling a GT on us. They might be pretending to struggle, or they might just be figuring themselves out in the first half of the season, and then they go undefeated in the second half. Because GT did that twice.
Isn't Muscle pretty historically? I might actually be wrong here because I haven't looked up the stats for it. But haven't Muscle typically had losing records like for
historically
most of the seasons,
Muscle
and then just got absolutely bonkers in the 5v5s for the bowl?
Yeah, historically, Muscle has rarely had a winning record, but they always crush it in the 5v5s.
Yes. Which
although I think this is probably their worst. This is definitely their worst start ever. Like even back in the Squee era, Muscle's never gone 0-5 before.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are struggling really hard. Maybe we see Broly, although I know he wasn't exactly fantastic in testing, but
it's
he is there.
Broly is benched, so
yeah, that is a bit weird. But I mean,
hey, we might see some FA benches next week. Gotta take that into account for predictions.
I think
that's true.
That is highly likely with the way things are.
I'm bringing back in Pilaf.
Hey, where's King Vegeta at? He was in for only 1 week, then he got FA benched. What the hell?
King Vegeta's coming back in. No, he's not. Or is he?
If you're not bringing back in King Vegeta, so he just gets to have his like bottom tier stats forever now.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna have him at 14k, and then I'll approach you with a loan offer next season and say, "Can you give me someone a bit better, like 14k, bro? Come on."
Shush.
And then Pop says, "No, you don't get Zeddy out of this. You only had him for 1 week."
Hey, don't worry. King Vegeta 14k, Majin Vegeta 23k. You know, the Vegetas are kind of washed this season. You know?
Who cares about Vegetas?
Oh, by the way, rest in pieces, Majin Vegeta's stats. He's been on cleanup duty all year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, hey, it has it hasn't affected my tier lists at least, but he's not doing much better with the tier lists than the official stats, to be frank.
Yeah. That's what it's like to be on janitor duty. But yeah, I mean.
yeah.
Luckily for hybrids, future Gohan, adult Gohan spared the blushes of actually being on the janitor list.
Being a janitor.
His team got it done for him.
He was just a bench warmer.
Yes.
He wasn't forced to carry the mop.
Precisely, yes. He was in reserve. He was waiting, but he never got called in. So.
He was gathering his strength for the next match.
Precisely. Hopefully he's not very strong the next match, but we'll get on to that later. Anyway, are we done?
Are you just saying that because you're fighting him next week?
Shall we get on to match 3, or do we have anything else that we want to mention?
I think we've already talked mostly about this match.
Yeah.
I just want to say, kind of funny thing I noticed. You know, future Gohan just going absolutely ballistic on Trunks, his Trunks, you know, showing his student that the master can still handle it, and also beating up his grandpa.
Yeah.
Who I don't even know if he knows about Grandpa Gohan in canon, to be honest. I don't know if Goku ever told him.
Goku probably forgot to tell him. He probably doesn't know.
Well, I assume he knows that he had a grandpa named Gohan. But, you know. Actually, is there any reason why Goku at any point in the show could just be like, "Hey, what's she called? The lady?
Baba.
Yeah, Lady Baba.
Baba.
Hey, could you just like summon my grandpa for like a day with the halo,
Well,
so he can meet
the thing
his
is,
grandson?
okay, so you know, dead people in the Dragon Ball universe can only like pop up on Earth for one day as a one-time thing.
Has he already
Like,
done it?
the dead aren't meant to interact with the living world, so
Has Grandpa going already
yeah, he's
came
already
back? Yeah, I was gonna say I remember something.
yeah. They would have to resurrect him with the Dragon Balls, but why would?
But we
Unless
also know
he's
that
like
if a
super
character-
duper desperate for money, that's not gonna happen.
Hey, but we also know that if a character doesn't want to be dead in Dragon Ball, they really do not have to stay dead.
That is true. Alright. Are we ready to get moving on?
Let's do indeed.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
On to match number 3. We have Earth Defenders versus Namek. And to start off, we had Tien versus King Piccolo, which was an even match to begin with, both doing about 20,000 to the other, without healing. I don't know what it would be with healing, but we'll just say 20,000.
I think they both had healing.
Oh, okay. Well, they're
So,
both
I
in the
don't
yellow.
know.
They both had 20,000 left. Tien tagged, and then Mid Vegeta came in, and then King Piccolo he did another 20,000, so he's at least done 40,000 plus whatever healing was there, and then died to Mid Vegeta, and then Nuova came in, and he was trying his damnedest to beat down Mid Vegeta, but he survived on 5,000 and tagged out, and then Mid Goku came in and kind of annihilated Nuova.
The rest of Namek.
Yeah, and then,
Mi-
as Fiora says, into the rest
Mid
of
Goku's been on a tear lately. Yeah, he just destroyed Nail, and then Tambourine came in.
And Mid Vegeta came back in and did a bar, and then Mid Goku came back in again and finished off Tambourine. It was the Mid Vegeta and Mid Goku show this week, basically.
So
Yeah.
Hercule.
So what is
Yeah, Herc didn't even
crazy-
hit the field.
Yeah, we had a lot of matches this week that were stomped. The only one that was really close was mine, the first one with
And mine.
Cinema.
Derps.
Was it close?
Yeah, it was down to a little over a bar.
Oh, okay.
That's
Well, that
close.
case it's perfect that both of us are here. But the crazy thing about Nuova getting absolutely destroyed, pretty much, is that he had Ultra Ego. He had a 6 Zenny boost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's rough.
Yeah.
ED had no boost versus Namek that spent 6 Zenny, and then the character they spent 6 Zenny on got destroyed.
Yeah, that is painful. I mean,
It's been a rough year for Nova and Piccolo enjoyers, but King Piccolo fans, you've been eating good this year.
hold on a minute.
King
End
Piccolo's the
Piccolo.
Namek's best character.
Hold on a minute. I heard End Piccolo. It's not late Piccolo. I can't believe it.
Yes, late Piccolo.
To be fair,
He's
all the
been
other characters are End Goku and End Vegeta, so it's kind of a bit weird how they did that. But
I mean, you was right. It would be rude to call him late Piccolo because he's out of Piccolo, Vegeta, and Goku. I'm pretty sure Piccolo is the only one of the main fighters on Earth who would actually show up on time for anything.
Also, late Piccolo is chronologically the earliest of the three because N Vegeta and N Goku are the Buu arc or the Cell games, whereas late Piccolo is after he fused with Kami.
Can we
should
rename
call
him
him
to like
on-time
right on
Piccolo.
time Piccolo?
Yeah, we got early Piccolo, late Piccolo. Where's on time Piccolo?
Where is it?
Let's make that the nickname for Orange Piccolo. On time Piccolo.
Oh dear.
Super Namekian Piccolo.
Um,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Any other thoughts on the match other than the fact that Herc got to also bench warm, just like Adult Gohan
Earth
did last
Defenders,
time?
give me your secrets. Why has Hercule been doing so good under your leadership? Did you even change anything? Or was last year just a bad year for him?
I think that I think they run Super 2 on him again last week.
Yeah, super full spam build, but with the super launches, focus shot, fighting sprint, indignation. So, and Savior.
It could be that not giving him the Clash Potara could be making the difference, because I've been giving him like a Clash Potara under when he was on my team, because I don't want him to die. The Clash has a rush ult and a rush P2.
No, I'm gonna be honest. If it was me, I would also always give him Clash Potara if he had been like someone I could have picked up. But
props to ED.
He's really more into the key
Working
angle
without it.
but yeah. Yeah, props to Edie for winning without even needing her.
Yeah.
Without even spending Zenny, too.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, feels bad for Namek. The good thing is King Piccolo is still definitely working. It's just some of the others. I mean, we know that late Piccolo, end Piccolo, whatever, on a good day is just like really good. So I don't know if they can.
He's been struggling this year.
He has this year, but I don't know if they can.
It feels like everyone on Namek except King Pick and maybe Tambourine have been having it rough this year so far.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If they can accommodate late Piccolo on his old stuff, maybe going back to that, maybe it could work. I don't know, because I know they've tried a few different things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nail's weekly stats. Apparently, I just checked. His average is 23. So
yeah, Nail's not.
That is rough.
Yeah, that is.
King Piccolo's average is 61.
Yeah, he's
so
crazy.
He's got both ends of the spectrum.
The good thing is they are
top 10 and bottom 10, baby.
They are still 2 and 3, so like they're barely below.
It's not
even.
It's not terrible for them,
Yeah.
Being slightly below a winning record isn't the worst thing in the world. I'm in the same spot as Namek.
Precisely. Any other thoughts, or do you want to get moving on?
Let's just get moving, I think.
Cool.
I think I've said all I have on that.
Perfect. On to match 4. We have Resurrected Warriors versus GT. To start with, we had kind of an interesting start, to be honest with you, because I don't think we usually see this. We had 18 starting against Baby. Now, Baby, he can start, and I think GT have started him before, just not really that often. But 18, I don't remember the last time that I saw her start. Maybe on Budokai? But
It's been years since I've ever seen 18 as the starter. You're right there.
It was an interesting one, because I think it kind of worked out for RW, because they went even, and Baby is obviously quite a strong character, so to go even with him is fairly decent. Obviously, you don't get the...
Yeah, Baby was down to like less than half a bar when you took her out.
Yeah, and then it ended up being Roshi against Sin, which unfortunately for Roshi did have a massive struggle with. And I mean, he died to a super trap shooter, so that's kind of funny. I don't think we see that very often either.
It's super over.
It's super over, exactly. And then Yajirobe came in.
And it kind of was for RW.
Yeah,
sadly.
Yeah, it was, because even Yajirobe, he came in, eventually he kills Sin with something else that we don't usually see kill, his grab. He killed him with a grab, and he chucked him away. And then, but at that point, it was too far. The Super 17 and having Cell there was just too much for RW to deal with. Cell eventually comes in, and Cell is on janitor duty this week. The I say Cell, imperfect version of Cell, the FA
Cell.
Yes,
the imperfect FA Cell. Yeah.
The imperfect janitor Cell. came in and finished off an Vegeta. So
he came in with the mop and he
cleaned up. He cleaned house.
Rest in pieces, all 20,000 of FA Cell's stats.
Yeah, it was kind of rough on that regard, but good if you GT. I mean, to be honest, with the lineup that RW were filled in, they still had Vegeta and 18 as huge threats. Roshi is no one to snuff at, and yet neither is Yajirobe. So even though they haven't got what I like to call the three amigos in 18, Marju, and Vegeta on the field at the same time, it's still a very strong lineup. So congrats GT, because to win like that is very impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah. Anyone have any thoughts on anything in the match, specifically, character related or anything? Or
I just want to say that the big turning point was definitely Roshi versus Sin, because outside of that, things were relatively even between like the 1v1 matches. Like Sin was down to like 3 bars and just KO'd Roshi. Roshi couldn't really get anything started against him. Yajirobe versus Sin. Yajirobe took out Sin and was brought down to a bar. Yajirobe and Vegeta versus Super 17. Super 17 finished off Yajirobe and brought Vegeta down to a bar. It was really just that Sin versus Roshi fight that screwed over RW, because they couldn't get any momentum back to close the gap. They're basically behind by 3 bars the rest of the fight.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that because I remember sitting in chat while watching the match, and I seem to recall some of us just clamoring for like Sin transform and then tag, and then he transformed and he immediately died because like nothing changed for him. The thing like whether or not, because Sin's transformation is one of the only big transformations that's not a giant where he gets nothing out of it. He doesn't get ki, he doesn't get nothing.
I think Zarbon is one of the only other cases where a transformation gives
literally nothing. Yeah, he does. Zarbon doesn't get anything. Yeah.
But not counting Super Saiyans, of course, but that's just expected.
The only other ones where they get nothing are the modded ones, I believe, like Janemba and Hirudegarn, I think.
Could you imagine Janemba gaining an entire health bar if he transformed?
I never said to go that far.
He does in the base game. I think he loses a health bar if he transforms in the base game. So maybe that's the buff Cinema needs. Just give him an entire health bar if he transforms.
If that health bar loss results in your character so to the point where he should have died, it goes into like underflow and he gets full HP.
So. Reset health.
Yeah. But shall we move on?
I'm ready to move on if you guys are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. On to match number. This is match number 5. So we have Budokai versus Cold Kingdom. Now, I guess I don't even have to think too much, because this is exactly what I'm going to say, right? Basically, we had Frieza versus early Goku, which lasted a very long time. And early Goku...
2 tank builds against each other.
Yeah, pretty much. Early Goku kind of was just winning most of the time. I think mainly because the healing, because looking at the actual stats, Frieza did 55k. He did come back in later, but he tags out. And then the game basically becomes Mecha Frieza, Frieza, and Zarbon against all of Budokai up until
the last 10 seconds of the match.
The last 10 seconds of the match is GT Goku comes in, caller ults, caller B2s, GT Goku's dead, basically. That is the synopsis of the match, because if I go into the rest of it, I'll have to keep saying Mecha Frieza tagged, Frieza tagged, Zarbon tagged. and like constantly repeating myself. So
yeah, you've been really pushing the tag game these past 2 weeks.
yeah, the tag game has been heavily like impressive. I mean, the good thing is, as much as the tag game did help us, I want to point out how much Cooler helped us, because Cooler I don't think even lost a bar.
I don't think he got hit.
He came in and just went Alt B2 dead. So as much as the tags obviously helped a lot, the Cooler explosive B2 damage is kind of insane. So yeah, I feel sorry for Budokai because obviously they haven't won yet, but like in terms of performance, they kept toe to toe with us. It was only the tag game that made us have such a lead by the time
Goku gained the lead in the last 10 seconds.
yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I wouldn't really be upset with a performance like that, especially with how tag happy the other team was.
Yeah, and also Budokai, just as a point of reference, unfortunately they didn't manage to get their builds in, so everything was like based off last week's. The good thing is, it de-randomized the Dendays off Raditz, I believe, so he actually had a full build this time. But otherwise, like, they didn't... yeah, it worked out quite well. It worked out quite well for them in a weird way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they I think Staff did the bench based off of what the chat was saying, so I guess it just took off that third Dendays user.
Basically, yeah. So it worked out well in that respect, but in terms of like them being able to like move the lineup order around or anything, it unfortunately didn't sort of help. Whether that would have changed the match or not is obviously unknown. But you know, considering the fact that it was all sort of like not actually their builds like put in, it was just based off builds they'd already used and lineups and stuff. It was a pretty good performance, I think. But yeah, sorry, carry on, Fiora.
I wanted to bring it up as a little bit of behind-the-scenes stuff for the preseason, because I'm not sure how many people are aware. During the preseason, Cold and Derp, we had a potential loan on our hands between Mecha and Dodoria.
Yes.
And I don't blame you at all for wanting to like going back on it. Because, like, from what I've heard from your supporters, you were just having some struggles getting Dodoria off the ground.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Mecha, when I used him for a whopping 4 5v5s before you eventually came back and said, wait, no, we want it back. Mecha was by far the best character that I ever tested.
Really?
He was doing like 70,000, 80,000 performances and all 4 matches that I put him in for testing.
Yeah, that made me feel even more bad at the time when we eventually reneged. But
I don't blame you. It's not like we. I would be more salty if I used him for more standard tests, but I didn't.
Yeah, it was mainly
much of a problem with it.
The democratic sort of like nature of it. Like I would have went with Dodoria at one point, but a lot of my team didn't want to, and I wasn't like insistent that we did, if that makes sense. So it was fine either way with me, but it was one of those things where for whatever reason we couldn't get Dodoria to work, and we knew that we kind of had things that we could get to work for Mecha, so it was kind of just an unfortunate scenario that we got put in. But the good thing is you have Dodoria working, from what I see. Like, was it the last week where Dodoria did like, was it this week where Dodoria did like 89?
Dodoria did over 70,000 last week.
That was where I knew it.
Again, oh wait, no, that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Either way, I know you have Dodoria working.
Just while we're on the topics of loans with Derp, because we already had my match, but I also remember us talking for a while about maybe a Supreme Kai loan with Pilaf, I believe. just for a
Really?
little while. I don't know if it was you specifically, but I remember it being brought up early on in like preseason, or not preseason. Oh, I guess preseason. Yeah. So I remember it being mentioned on multiple occasions. Just never happened.
That's just a blur. I couldn't tell you if I even heard about that loan and just immediately shut it down or what.
See, I know. See, I know it was a thing because.
So yes, we had a potential timeline where Derp was Mecha Frieza, Yamcha, Pilaf, Salza Frost 21. Just everyone completely changed except for Salza.
That would be mainly Royals, wouldn't it? I just thought about that. Mecha and Pilaf are Royals. Frost would be Royals. Salza obviously wouldn't. And who was the last one that you said that was on the team? You'd have like half Royals, basically. That's crazy. What a timeline. What a set of realities that we could have been in. But have we got any more thoughts on this match, or are we good to get cooking on?
I don't really have much more to add to the Cold Budokai thing. It was just like a roughly even back and forth until Cooler just deleted Goku at the last second.
Yeah. My only last thought, commiserations Budokai. I think you will win this week. I'm not sure who you're facing yet.
Oh, and of course, I feel your pain, Budokai. I've been there. Believe me. Same with Muscle.
Well, the thing is, there are a lot of teams down there, so and we'll get moving on to the next match. But I think there's hope for Budokai and Muscle still, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's hopeless. I'm just saying I feel your pain.
Oh yeah, no, I get that.
It's not a good position to be with 0 wins a third of the way through the season.
No, it isn't. Right, okay. On to the next match. Match number 6. We have Kaiju versus Rugrats. And to start off, we had Rayleigh against Kid Goku. How funny is that, hey? How canon could you be? The ultimate
power level.
Not even a canon fight.
Well.
It's based on the what if scenario, though.
Well, that's true. Actually, it is based off the what if scenario. But I'm sure that they must have thought, like, you know what Goku's like.
No, they've never. Well,
off-screen training. It must have happened. I don't believe it's not.
No.
I mean, we had Rayleigh's cannon power level on display as well, with the way she treated Kid Goku.
Yeah, she obliterated him, and then Bardock came in to try and like avenge his kid, and he tried, but Rayleigh thought she was Frieza because she deleted him, and then Slug came in, and then luckily for Kaiju, they finally take down Rayleigh with a Slug ult, which it's pretty cool to see. I love to see that ult. Very rarely get to see it, I feel like. And then Goten came in, and then Goten was like, "Well, I think I'm gonna do some damage," and he killed Slug. Slug was dead.
He had to show that someone in this family was worth something.
He did.
Because his dad and his grandpa got deleted this match.
Exactly. And he thought that he was going to prove everyone wrong and show everyone that actually, you know, the Son Goku family does have some strength in it. Okay. Yeah, so Goten, he takes down most of Tao, and then Oob comes in, and I remember this moment for Happy because we were both in the VC. Oob decides to be the like cockiest, most arrogant he could be, and he full charges Kamehameha because Tao is stunned, key broken. And he's stunned, and he takes a full power Kamehameha to the face.
It was the funniest thing.
it was hilarious. You had to be there in the watch party.
If Oob had to carry the mop and be forced on janitor duty, at least he was gonna come out with some swagger.
Oh yeah, I mean,
just key break him and then turn him to ash with a fully charged Kamehameha.
Exactly. I mean, that's how you do janitor duty. That is how you look badass doing janitor duty.
This was almost a two-man win for Rugrats because Oob only had to come in for Tao's last bar, and Trunks didn't even have to hit the field.
Yeah, it was really, really one-sided. I mean, it almost ended up being two characters not hitting the field. It was that one-sided.
Yeah, this was definitely the most one-sided match of the week, and maybe the whole season so far.
It's like, this is what I mean by, we had so many matches this week where it was absolute stops. Where one side won by like a whole character or more. So.
Yeah, the one thing I will say, just as a little note to some of the things we're saying about Budokai and Muscle, Rugrats were 0-3. They're now 2-3. This week they absolutely stomped. I'm pretty sure last week they won by a fairly good margin. To me, this just says, even though you're in a bad position, you can still easily change it around. And Rugrats, off the back of this performance, I feel like their season is turning around rather quickly. So yeah, I just want to give that congrats to Rugrats because yeah, it was a very good week for them. For Kaiju, I think they've been a bit unlucky. I know when they fought against me example, they lost by a bar and it was really close. So that they could be 3-2 really. I can't remember all of their matches, but I feel like most of them come down pretty close. This was just I'd count this as a one-off. I don't think this sort of thing is in line for them very often with the characters they have. But yeah. Anyone else have any thoughts, or ready to get moving on?
I think we can move on. We have 2 matches left, I believe.
Yes, we do. We have match number 7, which is Buu Saga versus Derp. I'm just going to lead up and say it was Buhan against Frost to start with, and then I'm going to pass it over to Fiora because I'm pretty sure that you're dying to talk about this.
So at the start of the fight, we get, Frost versus Buhan. Frost takes the early lead, but then Buhan gets it down pretty. He catches back up, brings Frost down to his last bar. Frost stuns Buhan and then tags out to Dodoria. And Dodoria, which is a really impressive tag team combo. We got multiple of those from my team this week. And then Dodoria, instead of falling for the melee combo, does a grab. I say this because because the grab wasn't strong enough to finish off Buhan. Buhan was down to 1,000 HP or less when Dodoria tagged in. And as a result, Buhan was able to just tag out. Yeah, my team's been kind of struggling with finishing off low health characters. Last week, xmat, when it was Dodoria versus Mecha was down to 20,010 HP.
Oh, and then he tagged.
He was just kind of hovering there for a while, and then tagged out. Dodoria's been struggling to bring down health bars for a bit.
Yeah.
And then it was Spopovich versus Dodoria, just a straight-up slow melee brawl. By the way, congratulations, Buu Saga, on getting Spopovich to actually work. You stopped giving him just your table scraps. You gave him a real build. He's on attack 2, Eternal Life, instead of whatever the rest of the team isn't using. Then, Dodoria gets a bit under the second bar, brings Spopovich to about his second bar, too. Dodoria tags, and Frost immediately launches a Dirty Burst. Frost finishes off Spopovich, and was brought down to, I believe, his last 1,000 health, give or take. Then, Kid Buu comes in, and frame 1, Frost immediately tags into Yamcha. Didn't even give Kid Buu the chance to potentially waste a KO. And then Yamcha, Kid Buu, they have a solid back and forth. Yamcha wins it out. My memory is a bit hazy past
Yeah, okay. So
this point.
Yamcha beats Kid Buu, and then basically
I
what
believe
happens
Super
is
Buu came back in,
yeah, he
finished
did.
him off.
Solza
Yeah.
Solza finishes off Gohan.
Yeah, Salza finishes
Buu.
Super Buu,
Uh,
and then
Evil Buu comes in.
Evil Buu just finishes everyone else off.
Yeah, although it comes down to the wire a bit because it ends up being Frost against Evil Boo until Solza comes back in with like barely any health because he just tagged back into Frost.
And then like on the same frame, they both decide Salza does finish 9, Evil Boo does Kamehameha. Good match, Buu Saga. I think this was their best lineup because I think Majin Buu is their weak link at the moment.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm not too upset. Like there was a bit of derping on my team's end towards the end, like just kind of flying around or just running into a fully charged Kamehameha from Evil Boo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what can you do? The AI just does not know how to handle those.
No, this is it. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like obviously Frost did really well. Yamcha, I feel like he surprised me with how well he did, mainly because he was going against fairly strong character, like mainly Kid Buu. I feel like he was going against most of the time. I think he went against Spoke as well, maybe.
Yeah. No.
Or was it Buhan?
Frost finished off Spoke, and then it was Yamcha fought Kid Buu and a little bit of Buhan, but Yamcha was mostly dead when Buhan came in, so...
But he fought really well against both of those.
Yeah, Yamcha was the second best character of my team this week.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
he hit close to 50k.
And then Dodoria kind of just slacking on the... I mean, the annoying thing is, if Dodoria kills Buhan, like when he comes in from the Frost tag, I think you...
Yeah, it could have been a completely different match.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it would just been Evil Boo at the end versus the rest of my team.
Yeah, so that really...
Granted, Evil Boo could have clutched it out, but... Yeah, it's just... It was just... What can you do? You know?
Yeah.
So Buu Saga currently... I don't know how their averages will look after this week, but currently, with only stats up to week 4, the official stats, Gohan Buu is the #1 character in the league at 70k average.
That is crazy. They switched his build as well, I think, because he's on defense now this season.
Yeah, he was on an Uber tank build like Salza when he did his Scatterfinger Beam. It fully connected and only did 4k when he finished off Buhan.
Honestly, considering Buhan's kit, that is not a bad strategy because his melee and his V2s are good. So
you know Gohan Buu's season is cracked when he has higher average stats than Gotenks.
That is crazy.
That can only appear as like the combination of two characters. That's wild.
Gotenks, who basically always appears with 60 to 70,000 health.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy. But yeah, I mean, commiserations for Fiora, but I feel like I know that you don't feel that bad about this loss because it was so close. You could have easily have won, really.
Against Buu Saga's best lineup, I think.
Yeah. So
I'm not upset at this.
They brought their
just like my team could have just handled things a bit better, like derping around Evil Boo's Kamehamehas and Dodoria not finishing off Super Buu. Like beyond that, I'm not really upset. I was actually surprised for once. Like my team's actually winning clashes without Clash Prataras. Impossible.
Can we talk about the fact that since you're here as the coach of Derp, what's it called? That this is one of the first seasons where I don't know if it's just because of Frost or just because your team has finally started to click, but now I feel like Derp is actually a top tier team this season.
Yeah.
Like on the list of the teams where I'm like, oh shit, should I actually strategize against this team? It's like, ooh, now Derp is up there.
Should I
So,
benchmark
I'm
Vegeta
sure-
against this team? No.
You should. He's your worst character so far.
yeah, exactly. According to
Bring
the stats,
Pilaf
I
in!
should be
You should be swapping him over, actually.
Oh shit, you're so right. I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah. There's attack +2, Master Blast, Pilaf. It'll be great.
Trust
Oh
me.
yeah, dude.
But yeah,
I'll do so
I'm
little
sure-
melee damage that I start healing my opponent.
So I'm sure that there are some questions regarding my team between like the banner and Frost's build because that's new stuff. So I'll get the banner out of the way first. I know there's been some confusion on why the cupcake theming. It's literally just because of 21. So, she turns people into cupcakes and macarons, and I just suggested, hey, can we go for a cupcake theme with the banner? And here's an image of 21 when she gets turned into a cookie by Majin Buu and Fighters. It's literally just because of 21.
Okay, fair enough. And Frost, you said something about Frost build.
Yeah, I know that there are people, like, you would look at Frost's kit like, oh, he's got these melee stuns, so you should gear him towards heavy melee. The problem was I was already running Salza and Dodoria on attack builds. And I figured, hey, I like his B2s, let's try and give him some key. The key +2, and give him serious and fighting spirit, or serious and quick fast attacks, because I still want to gear him towards some melee,
See,
and he's been crushing it on this build.
the way I look at it is, he uses that melee for the stun, but because of all the key you give him, it gives him the opportunity to stun someone and then back up for a B2. So it kind of works out pretty well. I think personally.
His finger barrage is basically just a funky flavor of a baby's finger blitz barrage.
But that is
when you
good
go down to
still.
it mechanically.
So-
And Dirty Burst is just a good B2. Just turn your entire body into a hitbox. I'm pretty sure in terms of like the frame data, it's better than Dodoria's too, because it doesn't have as much windup.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone still has this misconception, no, his melee stuns are not affected
by exquisite
by exquisite
Yeah.
skill.
No, they're not.
If it wasn't for Cooler's Key Blasts having that property that they could copy over, Ross would not have the melee stuns, or he would be banned from exquisite skill.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about that.
Right, are we ready to get moving on to match 8? I think
I think so.
the final match of the week. Okay. Match number 8. We have androids against Sentai Squad. Now, to start off with, we had 16 against Ultimate Gohan, which went a bit differently than I thought. I thought it'd be quite an even contest, but it kind of was more one favoured in 16's side. And he beats Ultimate Gohan down, and then actually kind of the antithesis of the week, because normally when these matches, the beatdown happens, it just continues and rolls on and on and on and on. But Zangief decides no, actually, and she kind of blows up 16, and then gets working on to 19, who she...
Funny moment about that, by the way. At the very end, Zangief threw out her shoot blaster, and then 16 goes for the grab beat too from halfway across the map, huh?
Yeah.
I remember this. We started laughing so hard in chat when it happened. Just 16
I don't
trying
think the
to just
Rocket
grab
Fist
the
would've
shoot
won.
back blaster, throw it back at her. Wrong game, buddy. Wrong game.
I don't think his Rocket Fist beats anything in a clash, but the fact that he went for the grab is really, from across the map, is really funny.
It's funny, it's weird, but it's why we love the league. So yeah, it was a strange one, but yeah, Zangief, she kills 16. She goes on to kill 19, only for as I'm going to call him, Cell Proper, because this is actual Cell, not the FA Cell. Comes in.
Cell Prime.
Cell Prime. He comes in and he gets rid of what's left of Zangief, which I think was like half a bar. And then Berta comes in, and I'm going to be honest, Berta has Cell's number. Like, he is kind of just beating the living snuff out of him. That is until Cell decides to transform, and I think we've seen him do this in another match this season. It was against King Piccolo. He transforms, and then his AI just starts working, and he actually starts doing some damage, and then tags. And then it ends up being Cyborg Tao coming in. He kind of like actually beats down on Burr, but unfortunately Sentai have more than one ace in the sleeve, and Jiren comes in, and despite him hitting one ult against the ground, which was very weird because the map had a janky floor in, and it didn't, like, at the time appear obvious that the
I think
would,
I think it's because of how big the hitbox is for his ult, and he was like on ground level.
I think he was technically like because there's a lot of hills on this map.
Yeah,
I think he was like very slightly, like downhill, like over a curve. So
yeah,
but in the end it didn't matter because he hit an ult in the end after doing loads of damage before that anyway, and he
good ults actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then he hits another ult when Cell comes back in after he's killed Tao, and then Cell, he tries his damnedest to stay in there with the health transformation, getting up to super perfect, but he just can't. He just feeds Jiren some additional stats, and yeah, I mean, we don't get to see Ultimate Gohan come back in because he did tag out earlier. So basically, Jiren is chief janitor because he did more than what a janitor's supposed to. He excelled. And yeah, I mean, kind of unfortunate for androids. I mean, after the start that 16 gave them, it seemed to just go quite downhill drastically from there. Mainly because, and I will say this because Anthony, fellow Capsule caster, as it were, he said to me after the match, it was mainly down to 19. I think 19 did about 20,000. I don't think Cyborg Tao was brilliant, but I know that he did. I'm fairly certain he did more than what 19 did. So yeah,
he did his man.
Yeah.
Look at my tier list real quick. He did 35 to 40k.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the most impressive thing in this match was probably just Zangief, because Zangief is considered. I know that the people tend to just hate on Zangief all the time.
Yeah. Sentai's people have been saying, "Oh, we're FA benching her as soon as possible," and I guess that lit a fire under her ass because she's been stepping it up.
No, she has, yeah.
I'm pretty sure she does like 70k or something this match.
She did.
By the way, fun fact about like some. Sorry to bring it back to my match, but this is on topic, I swear. So we were having a similar conversation over a Derp with Yamcha, because Yamcha was struggling for like all of preseason and for a good chunk of the main season, but for the past 2 weeks, he got a fire under his ass and he stepped up too. So I guess Yamcha and Zangief are buddies in that way.
They're in the fire up the ass crew. A very unique crew, but there you go.
Yes. They're firing the whole crew.
Oh dear. Yeah, she did do about 70,000 because she did. I think there was about 30,000 left on 16, and then she did all of 19. So it was 70,000 plus whatever healing was there. Yeah, she did a lot. Second, I'd say
honestly,
second,
honestly, I would say that was the turning point of the match, because like if Zangief just got demolished like you would expect against 16, then I don't think Sentai could have pulled it back. But she stepped up. She finished off half health 16 and completely took on 19 by herself. She put in enough work to give Jiren and Berta the wiggle room to just snowball from there.
Yeah, she did. I mean, especially, I feel like I could be wrong, but the only one that I think sticks out to mind that might have matched her damage is Jiren this match because of the 2 ults and the B2 spam. But not to say.
I'm pretty sure. I think Zangia was
still.
Sentai's best character this week.
Yeah, I was going to say it was either Jiren or Zangia, but it could be very well be Zangia because of the 70,000. So yeah, props to Sentai for that. I mean, it's scary for any team when you think about Sentai now. If they have their team as it is with Berta, Ultimate Gohan, Jiren, I think that Saiya Woman and then one of Saiya Woman or Zangief. Like the fact that because I'm pretty sure Saiya Woman has popped off in the past. There was one season where she had a 50k average, so it's a dangerous team to be going against at any time. Yeah, props to Sentai for building such a good team.
It's a rough time when the enemy team's supposed weak link just pops off, because then you just know, shit.
Yeah.
We're not winning, are we?
Precisely. Especially with the ult monster that is Jiren.
Oh yeah.
That's always scary. But yeah.
We're 2 hours in, I could swear.
But yeah, you can. It's allowed. It's allowed. Any other thoughts, or?
I don't think so.
Well, commiserations, androids, I guess.
I just want to say, Cell was so tanky, because he was on like a defense +3 latent energy type of build, that when he took Jiren's ult at like a bar and a half, the staff were like, oh, I guess he's dead. And no, he took barely over a bar. Yeah. Just goes to show just how effective defense can be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you stack it that much.
We've got a few of those types of characters this season as well.
It's just so funny to have a season with like both Cell and Frieza in like a low form with like 1,000,000 health. Let's call transformation. Kind of wild.
Good.
Because of how the defense modifiers work, it gives you a little bit. Functionally, it gives a little more health than you add. Because you take 10% less damage, but it doesn't mean you need 10% more effort to be killed. You need more than 10% because of how percents work. If 10% added on to 90 is 99 instead of 100.
Yeah.
So if Frieza and Cell are able to, fully transform from their starting forms to their max, and then you add in those defense multipliers, they functionally have like 65,000 health.
That is
no, but
crazy.
it's even better than that because the Rage Potara, it's called
if you stack on latent energy too, it's even more. It's absolutely insane.
The transformations will only ever happen below 2 bars, so you're gonna have latent energy stacks already stacked. By the time they go up.
Both run Dendays as well, so that just adds.
Is there a world where? Hold on. Is there a world where one of the 2 teams can actually? No, I guess Sentai can never get normal Frieza. I don't think, but can? Sentai. Androids.
I think.
Is there a world where Cell can end up on Cold Kingdom? Probably not.
There's a world where Cell and Frieza can end up on GT.
That's true.
But they are locked into forms. Is the problem.
You would have the only affiliation Cell has with the Cold family is he has some of Frieza's genetics, but he has no personal affiliation with Frieza or his army.
This is true.
It would be a massive stretch to try to say oh yeah, Cell, he's got some Frieza DNA. He has the chest gem. What are we arguing for Cold? You're gonna have a massive uphill battle to argue for that.
I'm gonna have to have a look, but there might be.
I just wanted to see both Cell and Frieza on the same team and then have everyone else cry over how long the matches are.
I'm pretty sure if we ever got to a point somehow where Cell and Frieza were on the same team, their team would just be banned from healing Portaras in period if they start in the lower forms.
The ultimate healing team. We have Cell, we have Freezer, we have Cooler, and we have Android 13, baby.
The thing is, actually, 3 of those characters are actually viable for muscles. So they could. Right. Okay. Moving on to.
Hey, Cell roided out that one time when he got pissed at Gohan. He could go to muscle too.
Imagine. Right, we're on to the tier lists and predictions. The tier lists, I don't know if you want to do a little bit of explaining Fiora on about the magic that's behind the tier list, but yeah.
Yeah. So I don't do official stats for the tier lists, in part because I think that overkill is just stat inflation and cutoff can really screw some characters. And also because I'm not waiting for official stats to get everything in. We almost never get all of a single stats weeks done by the end of a week. So I just do them myself through my own little personal project here. And because I'm not insane and I am not going to watch these matches 3 to 4 times, because, reminder, I am a member of the stats team, so I am currently watching at least two extra matches every time a week comes out for the stats, the official stats. So I eyeball the health bars. I've gotten a pretty good range down on how much a health bar equates to how much health a character has. And of course I take healing into account, and yeah, blank there. So, like, if a character has, like, eternal life and, they take damage at X minutes and then they either die or to a Rush B2 or tag or whatever, that amount of time, they've been on the field for that amount of time, they gain this amount of health. I understand if you might be frustrated at Gotenks having his damage being weighted, but I just don't think it's fair for him to start with so much more HP than everyone else. Most of the time, you get me?
I get you. As a last season proprietor of 100% Frieza was the best character last season, I get you. I respect it.
So because of this method, overkill doesn't apply, which means we don't get massively inflated stats from, like, ulting a character on 100 HP. And it also means that cutoff doesn't apply at all. If a character does health pushback, I don't count it as damage dealt to them. I just subtract from their health because they didn't deal, the character didn't deal that damage. You get me?
Yeah.
I would say that the health pushback should probably count, because this, like, you did force the opponent to damage themselves.
I can see the argument for it, but it's just that I've been doing this for so long, counting the health pushbacks is not that.
Yeah,
I would have to,
for consistency's sake, yeah.
I would have to, like, go back to all my if I'm gonna change it, I have to go back to all my previous seasons just to check for health pushbacks, and A, that's just not possible anymore because the TGN era has been taken down.
All in all, it's not like
it would take days, even if not weeks, of just pure paying attention to health pushbacks, and I'm not doing that, man.
It's also like health pushbacks are not that common either. Like, it's not, they don't happen every match. That's for sure.
So we get some weeks where they don't happen at all.
Yeah.
So for those of you who can't tell, Tierlist on the left was last week, the middle was this week, and the right is a special occasion. Because this is the average of the past 5 weeks. Oh, forgot to mention this. I consider a character being unable to do over 20,000 HP to be on cleanup duty, so I just treat it as if they were benched so that characters don't get screwed out of stats like they do through official stats.
Hey, Cooler got screwed out of his stats this week, okay? He did
25,000. He had over 30,000 to work with. He got it. That's not cleanup.
Well, he did it in 10 seconds, so
it's
surely
kind of...
Just because he's a very efficient janitor doesn't mean there was a big mess. Right?
Yeah.
So tier list on the right, it's the average of the past 5 weeks, and it is ordered best to worst, top left to bottom right. Would you like for me to list off who the best and worst character of every team has been, or you just want to?
Yeah, go on.
Point out some stuff.
Yeah, go on, do it. Let's hear who the best character from each team is.
So androids, they're
the mind of the tier master himself.
So androids, their worst character was Cyborg Tao at just under 40k, and their best has been 16 at just under 45k.
Oh.
I think 16 is the top of that tier.
Okay,
Wait.
very interesting. That's surprising.
Wait, no. I'm sorry. 17 is their best at exactly 45k. My bad. Budokai, their best has been End Goku at 48,000, with their worst being GT Goku at 35,000, in part because he got deleted in 10 seconds by Cooler this week. Buu Saga, their best has been Super Buu at just over 60,000, with their worst being Majin Buu at just over 35,000. Cinema, their worst has been Vegito at 34,000. I am sorry that you spent so much money on him. To be fair, one of those he basically had cleanup, but due to healing, he got over that 20,000 threshold. But I don't make exceptions, even if it's Spirit, he basically had cleanup. And Cinema's best has been Gogeta at over 50,000.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Cold Kingdom, their worst has been Devilman at 30. No, I'm not counting King Vegeta. He was in for only 1 week.
Okay, Devilman at 38, did you say?
Yeah, 38,000. And your best has been Frieza at 56,000, although let's not downplay it. You also have Cooler and Mecha at over 50,000 apiece.
Hey.
You've been doing good, Gold.
Yep. El Tagismo. That's what I call it.
I thought you were just about to say like El Taco for some
El
reason.
Taco. No.
Derp. My best character has been Frost at 62,000, number 3 of the tier lists so far.
Craziness.
And my worst character has been Salza at 37,000.
That's the pretty good worst character to have. The same with me at Devilman at 38.
Yeah.
You take that. Just under a character's worth of damage.
Could be worse.
Earth Defenders, their best character and the best character of the league has been Mid Goku at 68,000 average.
Yeah, he's been crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And they also have one of the worst with Tien at 27,500. They have the best, they have the worst.
They don't have the worst though, do they? General Blue is the worst. Where is he?
General Buu doesn't even exist anymore. He can't be the worst if he doesn't exist.
He exists in everyone's minds, okay? He exists in my mind, your mind.
He was so bad that people forgot he existed.
I'm gonna be real, I actually did forget he existed.
But he's the worst.
Exactly.
Alright.
GT, their best has been Super 17 at 53,000. Their worst has been FA Cell at 29,000. Hybrids, their best has been Adult Gohan at 52,000. Their worst has been Saiyaman at 32,000.
Well,
by the way, most of these aren't exactly that those amounts. I'm just rounding here.
So adult was 52, Saiyaman was 32. Is that right?
Yep.
See, it was worthwhile though for them to do the loan, because when you think about it, the reason they have adult obviously is for that loan. So they've lost out with the Saiyaman being the worst, but they did gain with adult Gohan being their best. So it kind of works, and they don't have to have Kid Gohan in. So
Kaiju, their best has been Bardock at 46,000, and their worst has been Scouter Vegeta at 36,000. By the way, how could you, Kaiju? Why is Nappa the bench? How could you do this?
yeah, Nappa needs to come off the bench. I love him.
The Nappa napping.
Nappa is napping. That's true, actually. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Muscle. Their best character, surprisingly, has been Raccoon at 42,500.
Well, he's still working.
And their worst has been Bojack at 27,000. You might want to bring in Broly.
Bring
Not
him
gonna
in.
lie.
Bring Broly in.
Namek. Their best has been King Piccolo at 58,000, one of the top 10 of the league.
And I'm guessing Nail was the worst.
Yeah, Nail has been by far their worst at 25,000. Not gonna lie, unironically, you might want to bring in a pool to change things up or change something with Nail, because I think Nail is actually the worst character. No, actually, Nail is the second worst character if you take out King Vegeta's 1 week.
Yeah, King Vegeta did have one bad week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait.
And he was never seen again.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, actually. Here, Muscle, your worst wasn't Bojack, it's Grandpa Gohan at 22,000. My bad. You have someone even worse to replace with Broly.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, dear.
Resurrected Warriors, their best has been 18 at 52,000. Although Majub is slightly behind her at 51,000, so good job having 2 characters that high. With their worst being Yajirobe at 33,000.
Wow.
Royals, Fathappy, your best character has been Deborah, number 2 of the tier list.
Yep.
And your worst has been Majin Vegeta at 32,000.
What a bad character. Bring Pete off him, man. Come on.
I think the only week where he didn't count as cleanup, it was still kind of cleanup.
He was in for 2 weeks. One of them was basically clean up in spirits because 23,000 is the only week where he wasn't in and basically wasn't forced to be a janitor was the first week.
Yeah.
Also, props to you, Fathappy. Everyone else on your team is averaging over 45,000 except for Majin Vegeta. King Vegeta.
Like I say, he's bad. You just need to bring Pete off him.
Yeah, Majin Vegeta is just such a bad character. I can't believe staff would nerf Majin Vegeta. He needs buffs.
He needs permanent power body, and his supers need to do 20% more damage.
It's like, I know, you already nerfed the charge rate. You know what? That's fine. Just give me like plus 50% super damage. I'll live with it.
Yeah. Is there any...
Rugrats. Sorry.
I was gonna say, how many more? Is it Rugrats and is that the last team? Rugrats.
Yeah, Rugrats and Sentai.
I was trying to think of fucking alphabet. Hard alphabet. Yeah, carry on.
Rugrats. Their best has been Aurelie. Off the back of these last 2 weeks, her first 2 weeks, she was doing terrible.
Yeah, she was awful. First 2 weeks.
If we're talking like a more consistent character, then Oob is slightly beneath her at 52,500.
Oh.
And Rugrats' worst character, Cell Jr. at 27,000.
Yeah, he's been rough this season.
And finally,
Sentai. I'm gonna guess Jiren.
Yeah, Jiren is their best. But who's the worst?
Sangaya, maybe?
It's Say a Woman. By a small margin. Sega one's at 33,000. Zangia's at 34.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I didn't know because I swear there was a week where Zangai did like 5,000, and it like
That was clean.
Oh, was it? Okay.
You're thinking of the week before where she did a bar.
That was where it was. Then it was like 10,000. Yeah, I remember. It was low. What were you gonna say, Fathappy?
No. Disregard.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's every team, their highs and lows. Thanks, Fiora, for that. That was very insightful. I kind of like the tier list differential with actual stats because Buhan, I think we said earlier, was 70k, but then on yours, when you take out all the extra like the overkill and stuff, he's actually 60,000 average. So it's kind of funny the way that works. A lot of damage can get chalked off, or sometimes not very much.
I do find it interesting that according to your statistics, Fiora, then here not this week, but the previous week, Deborah apparently went elite.
Yes, barely. He got 101,000 by my metric. It's due to a bunch of cutoff from like his key blasts.
Yeah, but according to the official statistics, he did not get that much.
Yeah, we got him to 98,000 by official stats. Yeah. We triple checked him. I double checked with him.
I'm so sad. My elite from under my nose.
You got an elite in spirit. He got it on the tier lists.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it counts. But yeah,
exactly.
We do. Everyone I think appreciates the work you put in, Fiora, and we do enjoy 100%. The tier lists. I do enjoy going to sleep after a stream, waking up and seeing the tier list when I wake up.
Yeah, so. If you ever wonder why, like it feels like I'm doing it in the middle of the night, or like past midnight or whatever, it's because of my time zone. I live on like one of the most western regions of the United States, so it's just like my time zone is just very different from like you European boys.
Oh yeah, no, but what I mean is because I know it's obviously it's earlier for you, but like when I wake up and I see the tier list, it's like, oh, cool. Like, I like having a look, just so I know roughly how well a character did before the actual stats come out and stuff. So it is greatly appreciated, I'm sure, by everyone in the community as well. So yeah, thank you for that. Shall we get moving on to predictions?
I believe so.
I think that would be good.
Yeah. I appreciate that you enjoy what I do.
Yeah, I
yes.
think we all.
I would. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not doing this as an obligation, but if nobody was like ever responding to these things, my passion for it would definitely like go down a bit. I like to see those early reactions before we get the official stats in, and I know that not everyone will just look at the official stats. I don't, and I'm on the stats team.
Looking at
so just like just posting in the general chat, like, hey, here's some tier lists a couple hours after stream.
It's nice and easy to follow. I think that's what a lot of people like about it, me included. So, yeah, like I say, appreciate it. Match number 1, we have Buu Saga versus Kaiju. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say, I don't want to say it. Okay, I'm gonna say Buu Saga. I want Kaiju to win because Buu Saga is in my division, but Buu Saga looks so good right now. Kaiju have just come back off quite a hard loss to Rugrats. I think this will be closer, but I just think Buu Saga is so good as a team with their full comp. Even if they have to bring Majin Buu back in. Yeah, Buu Saga.
Is Kaiju the home team this week?
No, Buu Saga are the home team.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. If Kaiju was the home team, I think they would be more screwed because like everyone on Buu Saga breaks power body in like 2 punches, which would just be terrible for Kaiju.
But does Kaiju even have a night map right now?
Yes, Ruined City.
No. They have.
Wait.
I can't remember what map it is, but I know that it's a non-night map. I'm trying to think of what the map is off the top of my head because I was speaking.
I'm completely wrong here.
What's the map? I can't even remember off the top of my head. I know that it's not a night map. It's not. Is it Hell?
It might be Hell, actually. Yeah.
Well,
looking it up, going to the weekly builds.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I can't off the top of my head. I can't. I know that it's not a night map, and they can't change whatever map they have to a night map because I had this discussion with someone. It's why Cinema actually.
Oh, their home map is Mount Paozu.
That's right, yeah. And there's no night variant where the apes can transform. So, yeah.
If you think about it, because like lore-wise, that Goku killed his grandpa as an ape.
Don't worry about the lore.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. To be fair though, Mount Paozu it can get blown up, so there is a way where if
for it to become a night map.
Yeah, if Kid
Buu
blows
matchup
up,
dependent.
Yeah. But if it, to be honest, it kind of works against Kaiju if they do that, because all of Buu Saga, I'm pretty sure, apart from Spope, will just break Power Body. So, yeah.
They might not even bring in Spopovich for that reason. Oh, by the way, FA benches. We predicting those?
I guess we can.
If you want to.
Buu Saga will not be FA benching anyone or doing anything, I don't think. Kaiju, I could see Nappa for Scouter, but I don't think they will. There you go. That's my thoughts on those.
Yeah. By the way, I think Buu Saga is probably gonna take this. I don't think there's that much of a power level difference between the teams. Well, okay. I give Buu Saga a slight edge when it comes to like base power levels, but especially because there's always the risk of characters transforming, and that's really bad against Buu Saga.
Yeah.
Because Buu's. I'm gonna give it to Buu Saga. But yeah.
I would give it to Buu Saga because just even Spopovich has been showing up lately.
Yeah, he has. He was the best character.
It's a scary sign when even like the supposed weak link of a team is showing up and nobody else is being really dragged down. Like I said, their worst character, Fat Buu, he's doing just under 40k.
Yeah.
Like I just think it's a issue of like a tough matchup in addition to Buu Saga just being able to be a lot more consistent, because like even if things were to become somehow become a night map on Supreme Kai's world or something, if anyone on Kaiju transforms, it's basically just an auto lose because everyone except Spopovich easily breaks Power Body.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Kid Buu even breaks it on the first punch.
Yeah, he does. I'm fairly certain. Okay. So that's 3-0 to Buu Saga, but I think we all think it's probably going to be close because Kaiju are a fairly strong team. But Derp versus Sentai, a divisional. Fiora, I don't know if you want to spell any beans.
It's coming out after builds are posted. It's fine to give spoilers. You're not Sentai.
Exactly. Precisely.
So the plan is Yamcha's going to be the bench. We were contemplating if it should be Salza or Yamcha, because Yamcha's been actually outperforming Salza a bit lately.
Yeah.
But we went with Yamcha bench just so that everyone has at least a bench in at this point, you know?
Yeah. And also,
which is a bit sad because I was considering giving Yamcha the Ultra Ego boost.
Oh.
Yeah, like I think he's a pretty good candidate for it because all he has in terms of Rage Portara is Fighting Spirit. So giving him would effectively be giving him 3 more Rage Portaras, and I could give him like a Light Body or something.
Yeah.
But sadly, not in the cards this week.
Did you? So you didn't do any of the boosts, or you are going to do?
We are considering boosting a Sirius on Salza and Dodoria. It's just like a question of like, hey, can we boost multiple of the same range for Tara? I'm gonna check on staff with that after this recording, and just like if we really want to, because like I'm not gonna boost on a latent energy on them because well they already have it.
Yeah.
That's when you take off the latent energy to boost the latent energy.
Yes. 5D chess.
Yeah, which funny enough would mean that my entire team would have Sirius if this is allowed.
It is.
Because
Yeah,
21 and Frost have that too.
I think it is, but don't take my word for that. I need to double check. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you were allowed 4, but you're definitely allowed 3. So
yeah, it's just a question of like if I'm allowed to boost multiple of the same rage per Tara. I don't know if that's allowed.
Okay.
No clue on what exactly Sentai will bring. Because Sailwoman was the bench, and they'll either bring her in or Videl if they feel like doing an FA swap. We're not swapping in Supreme Kai, by the way. Full clarification. Yamcha pulled it back.
This is such a hard match to evaluate.
It's really difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't help that you have the coach in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real, that has absolutely no influence on the decision I would ever make.
I am gonna give a slight edge to Derp. And that's mainly because I really think Solza is a very strong character. And while I know he's not been as good this season, maybe as he has been before, I think you keeping him in over Yamcha actually will prove to be the right decision. Because I just think, historically, I don't think you've changed much about his build. But I remember the season where
we had to take off the Eternal Life from Solza so that Yamcha could have it, because Yamcha was a defense Eternal Life character. Well, by the way, because of how I plan my team out, I will always have 2 Dendes and an Eternal Life, where I just give Solza Eternal Life when Yamcha's the bench.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is Yamcha will be Solza will be running his old, or presumably pretty much his old build, or similar, and that was the build that him and King Cold were like top 10 characters. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to you.
I think I'll give it to Sentai, mostly because what's it called? They are bringing back in Sailwoman, and don't get me wrong, Sailwoman is not like a star character by any means.
Unless they double bench her. Do they have Zenny to double bench her? I've just had that thought cross my mind as well. They might.
I don't think they're gonna.
I'm not gonna take into account any sort of double bench unless it's like a team already has like 2 benches for their top character and they just want to get that bench out of the way.
But the thing is, the character they're most likely to bench is Zagaya. And don't get me wrong, Zagaya just had a good week, but still, she's still up there. Like
maybe Ultimate Gohan. Gohan has been all over the place.
But that's the thing. Ultimate Gohan is still Ultimate Gohan. He could just do Ultimate Gohan things.
He's either been doing sub 20k or 50 plus k, no in between.
It's like, I don't know. I feel like it's a really even match for the most part, but I'll give it to Sentai. I'll give it to Sentai for the spice.
To be honest, I am leaning a bit towards Sentai for this because it's more so because Frost and Jiren are pretty comparable to each other, but my team at the moment doesn't have a character that's like Birder tier as of now. Like Birder has been by far Sentai's second best character, and he's over 50k. Like I just feel like because they have that extra buffer of a character that slightly outclasses the rest of my team, I think Sentai will edge it out.
I can't believe that you don't have faith in your own team.
Hey, I was slightly leaning to it. It's like a 55 to 45.
Okay, well,
for me.
But I take that as a 2-1.
It's not that I don't have faith. It's just it's just that I feel Sentai's in a slightly better spot at the moment.
That's fair enough. It's objective. I never am, so it's Fair enough. So 2-1 to Sentai, although again I think we all think it's going to be really tight. So match 3 is cold versus hybrids. I guess I can spill some juice, some beans. So
Are you bringing in King Vegeta?
no, he's on the FA bench. We are boosting though. So we're boosting a latent energy onto Zarbon, and Zarbon is going to be running defense 2, Eternal Life, Sirius, with a latent energy boost. So he's going to be
so Frieza's the bench.
Yeah, Frieza is benched. Yes. So we basically replaced Frieza with Zarbon Frieza. That's what it is. He's just going to be the guy who lives forever. And Cooler and Mecha Frieza are on their normal builds. Devilman is going to be in, but he's not going to run Savior. We're just sort of like figuring out what else he's going to run instead, effectively. But basically the same build. Obviously, I'm going to be biased and go with my own team, and I'll just let you guys make your minds up.
I'll probably give it to you, xmat.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
No, I have a Cold is a very strong team.
Oh.
Definitely not saying that because like it's half my master list.
No coincidence there. No. Just coincidence.
Nah, couldn't be.
And they have 2 more B2s. Team 2 more B2. So
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Royals is just Team 2 more B2. You
I
can't convince me otherwise. P-Lock doesn't count. He's always the money bag.
No, not like definitely not to this hybrids. Hybrids also a very strong team, but I give Colt the edge here.
Cool. Fiora?
This is a tough one because I see Mecha Frieza, I see Future Gohan, I see Adult Gohan. Frieza's obviously not in. So it's just like, these are all stupidly strong characters I view around the same level at the moment.
And Cooler.
I'm...
Cooler.
Yeah.
Cooler and Frieza.
Cooler hasn't had much opportunity to show off like that. This is tough. Similar to last prediction, I'm slightly leaning towards hybrids because I think they're getting Teen Gohan working again. They have Future Gohan, they have Adult Gohan. Granted, either of those two could get the bench. I'm just slightly leaning to them, especially with how you brought up how Frieza,
Never say die.
one of your best characters for like this a new build on Zarbon. I'm leaning towards hybrids.
Yeah, that's fair enough. The hybrids build, the Zarbon build isn't new. We've used it before, but yeah, it's just.
I don't think it's likely that they'll swap out Saiyaman for Kid Gohan because Saiyaman he's fine.
Yeah, I think they'll do that. I very much doubt that because Saiyaman is. I think they.
Kid Gohan seems to have been the problem child for hybrids for a long time. So.
Yep. Okay, so that's 2-1 to Cold. But again, another close match, I think. Next match we have Cinema versus Namek. Another divisional, the second of the week. I am gonna. This is tough. I'm gonna give it to Cinema. I think Namek are just in a place right now where, and I think they will actually for the FA bench drops. I think they will bring in
a pool
for who was that? Nail. I think they might actually do that because Nail's struggled so hard that I think it might actually just be worth them doing, unless they have something else they can cook up for them. But I still think Cinema will win because they look quite strong right now. I mean, I think you said earlier Vegito was their lowest, but like, what was it? 35,000 maybe. And then
his average is like just under 35k.
And then Gogeta is like doing monstrous work, like 52 or something thousand. So, I mean, for me, they just feel the more consistent team right now. So I'm going to vote Cinema.
So right now, every character on Cinema has one bench. What's the situation like on Namek? It was late that was benched this last week. Everyone also no. Oh, Tambourine has not been benched yet. But
I don't think they would bench Tambourine for a div.
I don't think so. I expect him to bench Nail, probably. I think I'll give it to Namek. I think this is pretty, like, even power levels. I kind of want to give it to Cinema just because they're, like, the only team that have gone... Well, I guess that's not entirely true. But because they recently went even with mine. But I think I'm going to give it to Namek. I feel like if they're banning Nail, benching. If they're,
you know what? Ban Nail. He's been stalling for too long.
If they're sending Nail to the Shadow Realm, then yeah, exactly. I agree.
I mean, he is a Nail. You gotta hit him with the ban. But I think assuming that they're benching Nail, then I'll give it to Namek. If they're not benching Nail and benching anyone else, I'll give it to Cinema. So yeah. So Namek for now, asterisk.
2.5.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say Cinema. They just seem to be in a more solid position with their characters at the moment. You know, Namek, 3 of their guys have been struggling. Cinema hasn't. Vegito hasn't been great, but he's also been partially screwed over by cleanup duty. Or just getting deleted due to a beam struggle. It's not entirely in his control. So I would say Cinema's in a better spot than Namek. I'm going for them.
Okay, that's 2-1 to Cinema. But yeah, again, another close match. Match 5, we have Royals versus ED. I don't know if there's anything you want to spill, Fathappy, any gossip.
Okay.
4-2 Fathappy. Okay, we get it.
But this is a little bit of a funky week because it's. I consider ED to be like a fairly strong team, but it's also not a divisional, and Deborah needed benches, so Deborah is benched this week.
Yeah, Deborah hasn't been benched at all so far.
Yeah, Deborah is benched this week, and it's going to be King Cold starting, but King Cold has a light body boosted onto it, along with he got Deborah's EL.
Okay. I'm sorry, it has to be done. I'm voting for Royals just based on that. King Cold plus Eternal Life is a dangerous recipe for any other team, and then also, I'm going to say this now. Margin Vegeta might finally come off janitor duty, so. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote Royals.
Either he'll die and do 5k, or he'll be the janitor and do 5k. No in between.
It's also that, as far as I can tell, the most common starters for ED are either Tien or Krillin. What's it called?
And Krillin wants the bench this week.
Yeah, and both of them always run defense usually. And if they're running defense against my EL character, then that's really good for the EL character. So,
yeah,
there's a lot of value.
So, knowing what you know, Fathappy, what do you think? You gonna win?
Well, yeah.
He always backs his team.
I always back my team, but that's also because I have full confidence in my ability to build my characters.
I'm giving it to Earth Defenders. I've also been kind of against the grain with these votes so far. Mid Goku, he's #1 in the league by my own tier lists. Hercule has absolutely been killing it lately. If one of those two is the bench, then asterisk here, I would give it to Royals, because those are some of their heaviest hitters, but at the moment, they're looking monstrous.
I will say, if Hercule ends up being in, and it gets to be like Hercule versus Babidi, then that power of rage. Mwah.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say Hercule versus Majin Vegeta with his power body while he's just stood there like, nope. Oh dear. I think so. It's 2-1 to Royals, but my last point on the match is I really hope that we get to see Mid Goku versus Majin Vegeta, the former #1 heavyweight against the new up-and-coming #1 heavyweight. So I hope we get to see that matchup. That would be really cool. On to match number 6. We have Rugrats versus Budokai. I'm gonna vote with my heart here. I love Rugrats and I really want them to do well, but I also feel really bad for Budokai. So I think.
Are you giving Budokai the pity vote?
A little bit. But what I will say is Budokai. This past week against me, if it wasn't for all the tags that we did, they could have easily won the match. And that was without like planning because of the issues they had with builds. So I'm gonna give it to Budokai, I think. But if Rugrats win, I would not be surprised.
Assuming they didn't forget to post builds again.
I think they'll be fine. I think I've spoke with Havoc in the week about other things, so I think he'd be good.
I'll give it to Rugrats. I feel like Rugrats is a slightly stronger team on average than Budokai, even if perhaps that is not reflected in the win-loss record this season.
Yeah.
But I think Rugrats.
Cell Jr. was the bench, but he could be FA swapped.
Who is on? Oh, it's Pan. So we could see Pan coming.
No, we're not. We're never seeing Pan.
It could be.
Working with her.
Pan could be coming in. You never know. It could be clutch.
I mean, we never know. I just doubt it, knowing Toshiro. Every opportunity he's been able to avoid using Pan, he's taken it.
Who's Budokai's FA?
Raditz.
Who's on their FA bench then? It's
Nam.
I could see Nam coming in. I don't know who for. But Budokai's struggling quite badly. I could see Nam coming in.
Knowing that Rugrats has to either bring in Pan or Cell Jr., their weak link, I'm actually leaning Budokai here. Because Cell Jr. has been pretty terrible so far.
No, he has, yeah.
Like, I think Budokai can genuinely take it. Of course,
actually, I can tell you.
Fusion could always happen. That wild card.
I completely forgot. I can tell you what Tosh's things are. He sent me them before we went into the cast.
Are you sure he'd be okay with you sharing that?
Yeah, he told me it's fine to share. So Cell Jr. is coming back in. And it's Goten. Well, they're all running, I think they're normal builds by the look of it. Yeah, so Aurelie's benched. So it's Cell Jr., Goten, Kid Trunks, Oob.
Yeah, in that case, I'm giving it to Budokai. They're bringing in their weakest and benching their strongest.
Fusions are on as well.
I'm still giving that to Budokai.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, fun fact, if you didn't know this on the tier lists, even with the weighted HP thing, Gotenks has done better than Goten and Trunks.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So actually,
my vote's still Budokai.
Yeah, I think I'm going to slightly lean towards Budokai. I will admit, part of that is feeling bad for them, but it's not bad. It's horrible seeing a team go 0-5. Like, I hate it, but
I'm not giving a pity vote. I genuinely think Budokai can take this.
No. I do think they can take it, but I'm just saying, like, there's extra, like, want for me.
Pity points?
Yeah, no. Okay. So
I still believe that Rugrats.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 2-1 to Budokai. But again, close match, I think. RW versus Androids. This is tough.
That's tough.
I'm trying to think of who RW might. Have they benched?
17 was Android's bench. RW benched Majub.
Yeah.
So some of their heavier hitters are coming back in on both sides.
I think I'm gonna just about give it to androids because I think 17 is that good. But honestly, it's such a toss-up that yeah, I could easily see RW win. But I'm just gonna slightly favour it in androids' favour.
I think I'll give to androids as well. I have a lot of respect for androids. Also, androids have gotten all of their benches for Cell out of the way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's true. But that also means if Cell starts flopping, they're stuck with him.
Unless
True,
they
but
FA
it's
bench him.
That's if Cell starts flopping, I'm pretty sure they're fucked.
Their season is over if
So-
Cell starts to flop.
Yeah.
It's like if Cell starts flopping, then and they like, ooh, let's FA swap him. Then it's Ginyu coming in, and Ginyu hasn't exactly been the most consistent character over the years. So also currently, every single character on androids currently has over 40k.
True.
So
This is rough because I don't know why. My heart's just saying I think RW can take it. By the way, RW, your building choices just confuse and disgust me. Why do you only have one guy with a Healy Protara? What is this insanity?
somehow it works, I guess.
If it works, it works. Okay.
If it works, it ain't stupid,
I
and it
just,
seems like they're Gigabrain right now.
I don't know why. I'm just feeling RW will take the win.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like somebody's just telling me that androids haven't been doing as well as they should be on paper.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean mine. I don't know about Fathappy, but mine is based purely on like feeling as well because both teams are really strong. So it's hard to pick either way. So
Yeah, both teams are really strong. I just I don't know.
So 2-1.
I have a high opinion of androids.
yeah. Yep, 2-1 to androids. The final match for the predictions this week, we have Muscle versus GT. Again, Muscle are 0-5. I think this is the team that I'm near enough 100% sure there'll be an FA bench swap. I think we see.
Yeah, they have two characters in the bottom 10, just barely scraping by at over 20,000. If any team is going to FA swap, it's going to be Muscle.
That being said, I'd still give it to GT.
Yeah, the annoying thing is I found like with Budokai Rugrats, I feel like there was a good argument point for Budokai. But for Muscle,
Yeah, because we know that Aureli's out and Cell Jr. the weak link is in.
Yeah, and also Budokai, I feel like the past couple of weeks
we're in a more solid position than Muscle.
Yeah, Muscle seem a bit out of control, spiraling into, and even if they bring Broly in, Broly's not known to be the most consistent of characters.
Especially in his base form. And the last time he was in base form, I think he was bottom 10 of the league.
Yep, he was on an FA and for Cold, and he barely featured.
I mean as in when he was actually in the season in base form.
Oh.
Not as just an FA bench.
As an FA, he was also not very good. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to GT. I really want Muscle to get a win. But I just think with how strong GT's looking right now, with Imperfect Cell coming in as a cleaner, a janitor, yeah, I mean, things are scary right now if you're going up against GT, and with Muscle where they are, I don't think they're going to be able to do it, sadly. But Happy, you voted GT, right? So it's just
I voted GT. I mean, mostly it's like the benches on GT are like I can't tell. Like the only mediocre character on their team is Imperfect Cell, and even Imperfect Cell is kinda not scary necessarily, but
part of
Hard to
with FA Cell is that he's been the janitor more than anyone else this year.
Yeah, it's hard to evaluate in Perfect Cell, and the character that's coming back in is Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So they're not like none of their characters are weak.
And Bojack is the one who should be coming in this week, right? He was the bench.
Let me.
Yeah, it was Raccoon, 13, Trunks, Grandpa. So
Yeah.
Bojack would be the one coming in.
One of the weakest links coming back in.
I mean, Bojack is also Bojack is one of their weaker links on Muscle, but he's also not. I don't consider him a weak character.
No.
But the question is, will they bench Grandpa Gohan when it's not a divisional? Hold on, what does their benches look like?
I think they might FA bench Grandpa Gohan, bring Broly in. That's my suspicion.
Yeah, I do think that FA benching Grandpa is the most likely thing to happen.
Yeah, okay, so right now Muscle have like even benches, so everyone has been benched once.
Okay. So what did you say, Fiora? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Muscle. Like I've been joking, like keep Muscle away from the playoffs. I don't want you to do this poorly, and I'm sorry. I gotta vote in GT's favor. It's just Muscle's looking like a mess at the moment. Like, they have two characters in the bottom 10 who are struggling super hard. They just haven't really been doing all that well in most of their matches. Even in the one, I don't think they've had many, if any, close matches this season so far. And I don't have high opinions of base Broly. I just don't think they'll be able to turn it around if they bring it in. I mean, hey, maybe we'll get a base Broly Elite. Who knows? But I'm sorry, Muscle. I just gotta vote in GT's favor.
Okay, well I think that might be the first unanimous vote. Oh no, maybe Buu Saga at the start. We start and end with a unanimous vote. 3-0 GT. Okay. Right, well, I want to thank everyone for watching to getting to this point of the cast. It's been a fairly long one, but it's good content. And yeah, if you guys want to check out the links to the Discord, website, Twitter, and the TikTok in the description below. And while you're down there, leave a little comment on how we can improve the cast. And yeah, I've been your host, xmat. I've been joined by my co-host, Fathappy.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure as always.
And coach of Derp, and statistician, and creator of the
Tierlist maker,
Fiora. I corrected it this time.
Been good to be here.
Cool. And yeah, I hope you all have a good day, everyone, and peace.